day. And what specifically makes this program unique is that you would have the opportunity to have a first-hand soundbite of those information. On the foreign scene this week, we have had to be with issues surrounding the crisis between Israel, USA, and Iran. My name is Alaba Adeyemi. I am welcoming you once again. I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this edition of the program. Okay, let us get the review started today from a current incident that just happened today. Today, wives and relatives of men of the Nigerian army arrested in connection with a supposed coup plot that should have taken place 1st of October last year, came together and granted a press conference today, demanding that their husbands and fathers should either be tried for the supposed offense or be allowed to go. These men have been incarcerated for a while now, and they are demanding that the men should be released and be allowed to go. And popular Nigerian activists Omoyele Sowore and Deji Adeyanju have also made inputs as regards this matter. In the next few minutes, you have the opportunity to listen to the men. Right now, please listen, take a listen to the wives, or one of the, that's the representative, one of them spoke. Listen to the wives of the soldiers, the detained soldiers.
Of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. These past months have been deeply painful for our families. We have watched helplessly as narratives are presented to the public, subjecting our husbands to trial by media. At the same time, some of us have faced intimidation from the very men in uniform who want to protect Nigeria. Our husbands and fathers have served this country faithfully on the front line, risking their lives in defense of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Today, their families are left with fear, uncertainty, and unanswered questions. A respectful appeal to our leaders. We speak today with no anger, but with heavy hearts of wives and children and mothers. We appeal to Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a father and a grandfather, to Her Excellency the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, a mother, grandmother, and revered pastor, as leaders of the nation at this moment in time, to please look upon our situation with compassion, wisdom, courage, and justice. We respectfully beseech to examine and be receptive to all the facts of this highly sensitive case with an open mind, please. We ask only for what the 1999 Constitution guarantees every Nigerian, that our husbands to be treated as innocent until proven guilty by a competent court of law. The allegation against them must not be used as tool or scapegoat. We want due process, nothing more and nothing less. To the Nigerian military, to the men and women of the Nigerian military, we are not your enemies. We are wives, mothers, children, and we struggle to understand how the same institution our husbands have with dedication has now become the source of deepest pain. We respectfully ask for compassion, transparency. Grant us access to our husbands. Let us see them and know how they are safe and alive. Questions that demand clarity. There are inconsistencies that have raised serious concerns. Initially, the public was told that 12 billion has been discovered in the account of one of the officers. Today, the narrative has changed. The amount is now 835 million, and it is reportedly in a company account rather than the account of any officer. What was once presented as 12 billion has now reduced to about 93%. Furthermore, the allegations themselves have changed. At first, the officers were reportedly arrested for indiscipline. Later, the allegation became conspiracy to commit a coup d'etat. We respectively ask what changed. If there is evidence, it should be presented openly in the court, please. Our demand, Mr. President, the military public stated over 6 weeks ago that investigation had been concluded. If that is the case, justice must now move forward. We respectively request that trials commence immediately in an open court of law visible to all Nigeria. We do not want anything done secretly, please. Proceeding or trial by the media, if our husbands are guilty, let it be proven beyond reasonable doubt. But if they are innocent, justice demands that they should be set free, please, Mr. President. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. Appeal to the public and civil society. We also appeal to the Nigerian public civil society organizations, religious leaders, and the legal community, the international community, Human Rights Commission and activists, and the media to pay close attention to this matter. Justice thrives in light of public scrutiny. We urge all Nigerians who believe in fairness, the rule of law, the sanctity of our constitution to follow this case closely and lend their voice in defense of due process. Conclusion, Mr. President, we are not asking for favors or shortcuts. We are asking for our constitutional rights, the truth, and the safe return of our dear husbands. If there is evidence, bring them before court of law. If there is none, let them go free, please. We appeal to the President to do what is just, allow the truth to be seen. We also appeal to the Nigerian military to remember its oath and its humanity. History and prosperity will remember the decision taken at this moment. Thank you. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That is one of the wives of the detained military men delivering a written speech today as regards the plight of the men that have been arrested and are currently in custody. Right now, let me also take the reaction of two prominent Nigerian activists, Omoyele Sowore and Deji Adeyanju, as regards this particular incident. Let us have their, first of all, we'll start with Deji Adeyanju, then Omoyele Sowore.
Human rights activist Omoyele Sowore and our presidential aspirant of the AAC as well. We are joined by many of the officers' wives, their family, children of elderly people who have been detained. Some of these elderly people are people who have served this country for over 35 years and have retired. We even hear that there's an Islamic cleric that was also detained alongside many of these officers. In our estimation, from members of the families that we have spoken with, we hear that almost over 100 people have been detained, which is indeed very strange.
Ensure that justice is done, whatever what it will take. I have experienced many instances where people are accused of plotting.
This is the reason why we have gathered with them, solidarity, and today we are joined by human rights activist Omoyele Sowore and our presidential aspirant of the AAC as well.
And that is the voice of Barrister Deji Adeyanju and Omoyele Sowore on this matter. We hope to have more information for you very soon. Now, let us move to another trending hot one. Some groups of non-governmental organizations have accused the current Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives of certificate forgery or issues around that. I want you to hear it from them. They are calling for his immediate resignation. Please let us hear what they have got to say about that.
Before effecting a change of name 3 times actually, as he has changed his name, Jerry declared in April 23, 2010 that he was not and will not engage in employment or participate in NYC during his course of study. From available records, he swore as follows: I, Mr. Benjamin Okizie Osisogwu of 76 Factory Road, Umuahia, Abia State, hereby declare on my honor that I am and will not engage in any employment or serve in the National Youth Service Corps during the period of my course at the Nigerian Law School. Gentlemen of the press, if he swore on oath twice, the general question is, how did he come by the NYC discharge certificate number A001773067, alleged be issued on March 8, 2011, and at the same time of March 9, 2010 to March 8, 2011, when he was supposed to be at the law school. Only one of two scenarios applied. Either he did not participate fully in the NYC service year, or he never attended the Nigerian law school to qualify him to be enrolled into the bar. It is this reason we demand for clarity and accountability from the Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Kanu himself. The National Youth Service Corps, we also demand clarity from them, and the Nigerian Law School and the Council of Legal Education. All these people must come clean so that there will be no ambiguity as to the matter at hand. It is a child matter that no individual is bigger or more important than the laws of our country. You agree with me, especially the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. For too long have we allowed people with tainted records to buy high and important offices. We will remind you of our recent history when ministers have been forced to resign, judges have been sanctioned and sent packing over their indiscretions and abuse of records. Professors have been dismissed from their posts for falsifying records and engaging in plagiarism. So it doesn't matter whether anybody is a number 6 citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Our prayers are very simple. One, let Right Honorable Benjamin Okezekalu step aside pending the determination of these allegations. He occupies too great an office for any parent to be associated with the occupant. You agree with me? Nigeria is an important country in the Committee of Nations, not just in the continent, but across the world, and should not have individuals with any semblance of professional character occupying such an office. Secondly, let the NYC, the National Youth Service Corps, come clean on Mr. Kalu's service year. Of Mr. Kalu's service year record. Did he actually participate in the compulsory national service? If yes, how? If not, how did he come about the discharge certificate he possesses? The Nigerian Law School and Council of Legal Education should avail the public of their records, showing the full participation of Mr. Kalu in over 70% of activities as required by its rules. And if in breach of the oath, his call to certificate should be withdrawn forward as the first short of the high demands of probity, truthfulness, and fidelity to the law as expected of law practitioners. At present, a senior lawyer of the Kanu case is facing his day in court as his author. So, this is no exception. Mr. Kanu himself to demonstrate the moral high ground by showing proof that he actually didn't continue both programs simultaneously. And if he didn't, should explain the certificate he possesses. He's a high-ranking officer, the number 6 man in the country. So we expect so that these things will not be inundated with the news of this and all that. He himself, as a high-ranking principal officer of the National Assembly, should come out very, very clean. Gentlemen of the press, we are duty bound to demand of those we call our leaders the highest probity. To expect less is to set a dangerous example for the youth of this country. It is common for us all to tell the younger ones not to cheat, to obey the law and work hard, but it is easy to condone those who by alleged cookery ascend the perch of power. No, we should be intolerant towards such characters. Finally, we are committed to following this to the latter and will back what admitted into the Nigerian law.
That is the voice of the representative of that civil society organization demanding explanation from Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, or for him to step aside. That is that. On that, we move to a different topic. In Ondo State, this week, a gentleman who had previously on social media accused the Minister of Interior, Honorable Bumetunji Ojo, of carrying of parading fake certificates. Is currently sitting in Olokuta prison as a result of the cases that has been brought against him, the cyberbullying cases that has been brought against him, and he's been asked to come and prove his claims. However, Omoyele Sowore has something to say as regards this particular incident. Let us hear from Omoyele Sowore as regards this.
Any government official who is using the police, the army, DSS, or even vigilante to oppress anyone, and my position is stated clearly on Facebook yesterday. Tunji Ojo has no right to prosecute anybody who is asking to see his certificate. The only thing he can do is to present certificate and say, no, I'm qualified and I have not been engaging in any infraction. And I've made that very clear. It applies to Taraba governor, it applies to Borno governor, it applies to the governors who have a predisposition to use the police to oppress citizens. It applies to Ebetoku, David Mahi. So I have 0, and the most notorious one is the governor of Niger State, Bago, yes. Who, by the way, I know personally. And when I told them, both the ones I know and don't know, that we have 0 tolerance for oppression. Anybody who doesn't want to be scrutinized should have no business accepting, to be elected or appointed to office. If you don't want to be scrutinized, just stay in your kitchen. But even in your kitchen, people can scrutinize you if meat go missing inside the pot. So, yes. I've stated it, I have a 0 tolerance policy for any government official who is using the police, the army, DSS, or even vigilante to oppress anyone. And my position is stated clearly on Facebook yesterday. Tunji Ojo has no right to prosecute anybody who is asking to see his certificate. The only thing he can do is to present certificate and say, no, I'm qualified and I have not been engaging in any infraction. And I've made that very clear. It applies to Taraba governor, it applies to Borno governor, it applies to the governors who have a predisposition to use the police to oppress citizens. It applies to Ebetoku, David Mahi. So I have 0, and
that is the position of Omole Sowore as regards that. But in law, it's a basic statement that he who asserts must prove. If you say somebody possesses a fake certificate in the public space, then you must come out and say how you found that information and substantiate that information. But let us leave that to the court to decide. Now, let's move to something else that happened during the week. On this particular program, all we bring you are sound bites and sound bites and sound bites. This week, the Senate committee, one of the Senate committees, accused the former NNPC GMD of some infractions. I want you to listen to them, listen to what they are accusing the managing director, the former one,
recorded 107 trillion as sundry receivables, which it claims part of it was owed by some defunct banks and other entities. However, the company NNPCL was unable to provide a clear breakdown identifying the banks, whether defunct or not, or other entities responsible for the amounts comprising this sum, which were never mentioned in the audited financial statement. This is also unacceptable. So the figure 107 still lingers on NNPC. Alleged duplication of subsidy costs. The committee observed apparent duplication of subsidy deductions against the revenue due to the Federation. Subsidy costs were deducted from crude oil proceeds in the books of NAPIs, and also from the petroleum product proceeds in the books of NNPC, amounting to 3.8 trillion. Again, it is worthy of note that NAPIs, as a subsidiary of NNPC, cannot have its own separate accounts from NNPC. Item 4, direct production cost. NNPCL/NAPIs admitted charging 5 trillion naira as direct production cost between 2017 and 2021. Whereas NNPC and NAPIs do not produce crude, thus diverting funds through over-bloated illegal cost charge against crude oil revenue. This is also unacceptable. So the figure also stands lingering on NNPC. Incorporation expenses. NNPC paid 2.9 billion for incorporation expenses from petroleum product proceeds, while NAPINS charged 2.9 billion as well against crude oil revenue for the same purpose. This resulted in a combined total amount of 5.9 billion being expended for incorporation by NNPCL just to change the name from NNPC to NNPCL, which is unacceptable and rejected. So that means 5 billion naira is also lingering on NNPC in this day and age. Who will comprehend such a figure to be expended just to change name of NNPC incorporation from NNPC to NNPCL? 5 billion naira. In view of the aforementioned, in view of the inability...
If you have been following this, the Senate committee is saying that the NNPC, the former NNPC management, claimed that they spent over 5 billion naira to change the name of and the logo of NNPC from NNPC to NNPCL. Now, let us ask the Corporate Affairs Commission, how much do you need to change name? And we must also ask those who are into graphic design, how much do I need to change the logo of a company?
Which were not properly explained to the committee, as the aggregate sum cannot be netted off in tandem with accounting principle.
You understand? Don't increase.
That, because under ideal accounting principle, it would have been liability subtracted from asset. But in this case, the liability figure is unacceptable to the committee because of the contradictions in the explanations, and also the asset figure, which is the accrued receivables, 107 trillion, is also not acceptable as well to the committee. So NNPC should and must account for the two figures. Then the two figures put together make up 210 trillion. The second
the figure that the NNPC, former NNPC management, is asked to explain now is about 210 trillion naira. Such an humongous amount of money. But let us move to the next one. The next one is a topic that would also interest you. One of the senators accused a particular fintech, MoneyPoint, as a popular brand being used by many scammers to collect money from unsuspecting victims. Let us listen to the senator speak about it. I think this should be Senator Munguno.
I have to go through. As somebody that is analog, I was so gullible. Somebody called me and told me to give him some numbers. I gave him some numbers, and then all of a sudden, I could not access my WhatsApp platform. Then I now complained to my daughter, who is more digital, that this is what happened. He said, you have been hacked, or Daddy, you have been hacked. I said, what is hacked? What is hacked? She said, you have been hacked. That we should quickly do something so that it should be reversed. So before the reversal, the man that hacked my telephone has succeeded in getting some millions from some people. He's just sent my details, my number or something that I need the money, and those people that he sent are so gullible that they send money to that account. And the account they use is Money Point account. Money Point. So, and from experience, from other colleagues, from other people, such people normally use or pay and money point only. My question is, what is the attraction for using only money point and OPE rather than using the conventional banks? Is it because it is very difficult to see you physically? Okay. So there is need for proper regulation of the way money point and OPE operate, so that when there is something, at least you have somewhere physically you can go to with a view to lay your complaint or something. Thank you.
We are sorry for that loss in audio. There, the MD of the CEO of MoneyPoint was trying to explain that the reason many of these scammers use MoneyPoint and OPay for as a conduit for siphoning funds from unsuspecting victims is the fact that many of the accounts were opened with stolen identity, national identity number of unsuspecting victim. That was his explanation. Let us leave that and go to another topic. If you are just joining us, this is iPower 102.7 FM in Murele Owo in our local government, Ondo State, and the program is in the Polity, where we examine and re-examine trending issues in our polity in the last 1 week. But right now, let us go to the UK, where the opposition party, the opposition Conservative Party, is firing the ruling Labour Party from all cylinders. Let us listen to the leader of the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom speak about the position of the ruling party as regards the current, the ongoing war between Israel, United States, and Iran, and the position that the ruling party has taken.
Defense investment plan, they are not ordering enough missiles. The fact is that this crisis goes beyond defense spending. They can chant as much as they like. They are pathetic, spending money on welfare instead of defense spending. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, they're not just pathetic, they are also weak. This crisis goes beyond defense spending. It is also about the cost of living. This war is interrupting the supply of oil and gas. That is driving up the cost of petrol and making it more expensive to heat our homes. Yet he is stopping drilling in the North Sea while importing the same oil and gas from Norway. Does he think that at a time of geopolitical crisis, it makes sense to kill our oil and gas industry and give up that ready supply of energy? The truth is that because they spent money on welfare, there is no defense investment plan. Because there is no defense investment plan, they are not ordering enough missiles. The fact is that this crisis goes beyond defense spending. They can chant as much as they like. They are pathetic, spending money on welfare instead of defense spending. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, they're not just pathetic, they are also weak. This crisis goes beyond...
That was Kemi Badenoch reacting to the position of the ruling party in the United Kingdom, that's the Labour Party, as regards the war and the plan and the position taken by the United Kingdom government. Let us hear from a different clip again, and our position reaffirmed.
Jobs. When it comes to welfare, they find the money. When our bases are attacked, they call the lawyers. When our energy security is under threat, they stop drilling in the North Sea. Mr. Speaker, the truth is, or in fact, Mr. Speaker, after last week's by-election, isn't the truth that he is, isn't the truth They might not like to hear it, but they are going to hear it, Mr. Speaker, whether they like it or not. Is it not the truth that he is prioritizing his job security over our national security? The situation in Iran.
Yeah, that was Kemi Badenoch there, very fluent, very vocal about the position of our party. You would, if you listen to, or you've watched the British House of Commons debate, and you watch how we debate in our country, you would want to wonder if we actually learned, adopted their legislative style. Some persons will say we are no longer under parliamentary system. But when you look at the United States too, where we have copied the presidential, our legislature seems to be quite boring. However, let's come back home. The vice president, the vice president of the country, Senator Kashim Shettima, has something to say about the ADC, now the Nigeria's biggest opposition party, the ADC. He said certain things about the party and about prominent persons within the ranks of that party. Please let us take a listen to what the vice president has to say.
I will ask you, I'm encouraging all of us. I beseech you, we are all political animals in Galileo Galilei. We have to sell our government. We have to be high. The same Alliance for Democratic Confusion that were adamant that we should have electronic transmission of votes. They opened their portal for the registration of new members, and it was overwhelmed by the avalanche of fake names, fictitious identities, and so on. You and I know. But as Winston Churchill said, truth is so precious that it has been surrounded by a bodyguard of lies. Lies, lies, lies is what is driving the opposition in this country. Politically speaking, we're in a much more comfortable position now than in 2023. And nobody unlisted the governors of Rivers or Delta or Akwa Ibom or Kano or Adamawa or Tarafa or any who joined the APC is at their own volition because they have seen the light. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the political season is around the corner. I will ask you, I'm encouraging all of us. I beseech you, we are all political animals in Galileo Galilei.
Yeah, that was the ever-fluent vice president of the country, Kashim Shettima, roasting the opposition there. Let us now listen to the minister of the FCT on, he has something to say about his predecessor in office as the River State governor. I'm talking about Rotimi Amechi. Let us listen to him. This sounds like a roasting too, but you know, we are doing a review, so let's listen to this too. Because of our time, Wike was actually roasting Amechi there and was saying that if he spent 8 years as Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly and another 8 years as governor, and that for about almost 8 years as a minister, that he never ate corn on the street. Well, right now he's eating corn on the street to deceive people. That is his opinion. But let us hear a speech made by the newly appointed, newly minted Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, as regards discipline within the police force. And with this, we shall be drawing the curtain on this week edition of this
the moral authority upon which effective policing is built. To restore and sustain public confidence in the Nigerian police force, our internal accountability mechanism will be strengthened, revitalized, and insulated from undue influences. The Force Provost, the Complete Response Unit, and the escort will be empowered to operate decisively, independently, and without fear of favor in the investigation of misconduct, abuse of authority, corruption, or unprofessional conduct. The message must be clear: no officer is above the law. Citizens must feel safe and encouraged to report wrongdoings, while officers must understand that loyalty to the force does not extend to shielding misconduct or tolerating indiscipline. Under this leadership, there will be no sacred cows. Rank, seniority, or position will offer no protection. Officers found culpable will face swift and appropriate disciplinary action, including dismissal, prosecution where applicable. This administration will act firmly, fairly, and transparently to deter misconduct, reinforce discipline, and restore public trust in the Nigerian police. By upholding these standards, we reinforce the rule of law and strengthen the moral authority upon which effective policing is built. To restore and sustain public confidence in the Nigerian police force, our internal accountability mechanism will be strengthened, revitalized, and insulated from undue influences. The Force Provost, the Complete Response Unit, and the escort will be empowered to operate decisively, independently, and without fear of favor in the investigation of misconduct, abuse of authority, corruption, or unprofessional conduct. The message must be clear: no officer is above the law. Citizens must feel safe and encouraged to report wrongdoings, while officers must understand that loyalty to the force does not extend to shielding misconduct or tolerating indiscipline. Under this leadership, there will be no sacred cows. Rank, seniority, or position will offer no protection. Officers found culpable will face swift and appropriate disciplinary action, including dismissal, prosecution where applicable. This administration will act firmly, fairly, and transparently to deter misconduct, reinforce discipline, and restore public trust in the Nigerian police. By upholding these standards, we reinforce the rule of law and strengthen the moral authority upon which effective policing is built. To restore and sustain public confidence in the Nigerian police force.
That is the IGP Tunji Disu speaking there about discipline within the rank and file and the officer cadre of the Nigerian police force. We shall keep our fingers crossed and see what will event as the event unfolds in the next few months. Thank you very much for joining us today. We hope to see you next time. Maybe we can take one or two reactions from members of the public as regards this, and you can continue to send us text messages as regards what we've been discussing. The number to call or to text is 08165524699, and you can also go to our Facebook handle where you can continue to drop your reaction as regards today's edition of the program. Thank you very much. All thanks and praises to God, and I want to appreciate every member of the crew that has made this possible today. Until next time that I will come your way again, my name is Alaba Adeyemi. Thank you very much and goodbye. No, like 5 days.